না না দেখাচ্ছে দেখাচ্ছে এটা
Now life in ancient Egypt comes alive with scenes of agriculture and industry. A nobleman and his wife are enjoying the fresh air in their garden pavilion. They are playing a game called Senna, a game with two players, a form of which is still played in Egypt. Ploughing is the first operation in preparing the land for cultivation. And here we see the farmer doing his team under the influence of plough. After ploughing, the heavy contact soil are broken up with a hoe, and then furrows are made with the broad blade of an axe. The sower scatters the seed on a small bag or bag. Sheep follow the sower and spread the seed into the topsoil with them. The fields are irrigated by means of the shadoof, which works like a balance, with a bucket at one end of a long pole and a heavy stone as a counterweight. Shadoofs are still sometimes
Pharaonic village visit করছি ফেরাউনরা কিভাবে তাদের জীবনযাপন করত
in a net bag hung on a long pole.
তাদের সমাজ ব্যবস্থা
When a thick layer of grain has been spread on the circular floor, it is then taken to be stored in the silos. Honey was used for sweetening by the ancient Egyptians, as sugarcane was not grown in Egypt in those days. The Nile was the main highway of communication in Pharaonic times, so boat building was an important industry. Small boats were made of bundles of papyrus tied together with ropes. Such boats were used for short journeys and for fishing or hunting trips. Larger boats were made of wood, usually cedar wood imported from Lebanon. Wooden boats were pegged together with dowels and sewn together parts of the palm tree for the same purposes. There were many different kinds of fish in the Nile and its canals which made good food, and fishing was also popular as a sport. One method of fishing can be seen here, where a net is stretched between two boats, and the fisherman hits the water with a stick to frighten the fish into the net. Let's see if he's been lucky today. Is brick making. The material used is the Nile mud, which is mixed with water and chopped straw into a thick paste.
সেই সময় মিশরীয়রা
This
কিভাবে
paste
ইট
is
তৈরি
put
করত
into a wooden mold, and the bricks are then simply left to dry in the sun. As there is little heavy rain in Egypt, these mud bricks can last for centuries. The houses of the ancient Egyptians was covered with a thick layer of mud, which acted as insulation against heat, wind, and
গ্লাস
rain.
মেকিং কাঁচের জিনিস তৈরি করছিল কিভাবে মিশরীয়রা
Glass making was introduced into Egypt after the military campaigns of Thutmose III about 1450 BC, when captive glass makers were brought here from Syria. Glass was used for making beads, inlays, amulets and small vessels, which were formed around a core, as glass blowing was not invented until the 1st century BC. In Ptolemaic
মমি কিভাবে তৈরি করত
The Egyptians are also famous for mummifying their dead. Mummification is basically dehydration, and to speed up this process, the internal organs of the body were removed and preserved separately. The body was dried out by being covered with natron salt, a form of soda found in the deserts of Egypt. The body was then cleaned and embalmed and wrapped in several layers of linen bandages. Amulets were put between the bandages to protect the mummy from harm. The whole process took 70 days.
70 দিন লাগতো পুরো প্রসেসটা করতে 70 দিন লাগতো
Pottery-making is one of the oldest crafts in Egypt, dating back to about 6000 BC. The clay is kneaded with water and mixed with ground potsherds or chopped straw, which helps the finished pot to dry evenly without cracking. The potter forms the pot with his fingers as he kicks the wheel around with his foot. The handle, then smoothed and polished with a piece of hard stone. Grid lines are marked in red on the prepared surface to ensure accurate enlargements of the original drawing. The artist copies the outline onto the wall, working from the sketch made by the chief artist on a small slab of stone or a piece of papyrus. Then the sculptor carves the design in relief with his mallet and chisel. Finally, the details would be painted in colour to make the picture look as realistic as possible in the quarry where the stone for them was cut. First of all, the block of stone is separated from the rock face by hammering wooden wedges into holes cut in the rock. The wedges are soaked with water, and as the wood expands, the sculptor carves out the figure, rounding it off first on the front and then on the back. Vases were made from various kinds of stone, particularly alabaster, a soft stone which was worked into beautiful designs. After the rough piece of alabaster has been polished, the tools of the carpenter and joiner were made of copper, wood and bronze. On the left, a man is throwing a log of wood into planks. Other tools used were a hammer, chisel, an adze, and a bow drill for boring holes.
ও যুদ্ধের ঢাল ঢাল তলোয়ার বানাচ্ছে।
Important to the pharaohs that the bundles of flax stalks are pulled through a large wooden cone to remove the tops and leaves. The stalks are soaked in water for a few days to soften them, and then beaten with a wooden mallet. They are then pulled to a smaller cone to separate the fibres from the outer making. The outer green rind is peeled off, and the white pith is sliced into thin strips which are soaked in water. After repeated soaking, the now pliable strips are placed on a piece of cloth in two layers, one vertical and one horizontal. The surface of the sheet thus formed is then hammered with a wooden mallet to cause the fibres of the two layers to stick together. The sheet is then covered with another piece of cloth and pressed between two heavy stones for several days. During that time it also dries out in
ওয়াইন মেকিং, আঙ্গুরের রস দিয়ে ওয়াইন তৈরি করতো।
Good wine was appreciated in Pharaonic times, and this scene shows the method of winemaking. Bunches of ripe grapes are taken to the back.
Stay together, everyone. And the Pharaonic vernacular. Okay? So from now on, she's the one who will explain for you. Okay? Please follow here, please.
Okay, are we ready?
Ready?
Okay.
Stay together and follow here, please.
Okay, guys, group 29.
29.
Yes.
Yes.
And now we're going to talk about the religious aspect of ancient Egyptian. This is a model of ancient Egyptian temples, and that's a feature of Karnak temples. Have you been in Luxor before? No?
No.
Okay, Karnak temple is the biggest temple of Fire is called the open port. There is no ceiling to allow the sun rises to enter the place. Here in the middle, they used to make a boat like this one, called the sacred boat. The statue of the god made out of pure gold, like God Osiris here. but this boat usually kept inside. Here there's 12 spaces between these halls, representing 12 hours of the day. They used to filter the water twice a day, once when the sun rises and the other when the sun sets. Here there is a tiny little open to let the water dripping. They will consider every drop of the water as a second, every space representing 1 hour. Then one space is 1 hour, two spaces is 2 hours, and like this. Then to know the time, all they has to do just count these spaces to know the time.
ওয়াটার ক্লক ওই যে ফুটা আছে যখন পানি কমতে থাকবে তখন ওই ফুটাগুলো তো এই যে ফুটা আছে ফুটা দিয়ে পড়বে
There is a little hole inside here to let the water
ওয়াটার
drip.
ক্লক এটা ওয়াটার ক্লক হচ্ছে
Tallest. This place allows it for two people to enter it, as I told you, the king and the high priest. That's why this jackal here got Anubis, god of mummification. They used to keep it here to protect this room. Now let's see.
সবজি রাখার ভেজিটেবল
Yeah. Here, this room, this is the offering room. When they came here to pray to their gods, they used to give him something. Their gift were like grains, oil, meat. They used to keep it all here in these pottery jars.
এই ঘরে এই যে মাংস টাংস খাবার টাবার রাখতো
Now let's see the temple from outside. Okay guys, what can you see in this painting?
Many fighting.
Fighting, war. This war called Kaddish. It's happened between Egyptian people and Hittite people. And here this is Ramses II on his war chariot. This war here lasted for 16 years. Until now we didn't know the winner. Because at the end of the war both sides claimed their victory over each other. This war is very important because it ended with the first peace treaty in history. And second, Ramses II married the daughter of King Hittite, his enemy. By the way, okay guys, group 29. We're going to talk about their social life. Before, now we're going to see nobleman's house. Before we see the house from inside, here behind you, this is for a chariot.
এটা মার্সিডিজ এই জমিদারের আচ্ছা
Now, are you excited to see the house from inside?
খুলে যাবে না তো আবার সাবধানে আসসালামু আলাইকুম মতবর সাহেব ভালো আছেন গুড
Okay, guys, group 29. Let's continue here. But this car for his wife. Yes.
Oh, this is another car.
Yes. When she needs to go anywhere, all she has to do just sit here, and 4 people used to carry her to river. And now we go to see her inside. Let's see her. Are inside the house. Here, this is his wife. She has nothing to do all the day except for listening to the music.
Oh,
When she feels
সেটাই
very
কোনো কাজ নাই
bored,
only music.
yeah, take her car and go out.
Like Hindi music.
He like
Now let's see the